everyone, how are you, ladies and gentlemen and esteemed guests? Today, I would like to take you on a journey through the contemplative wisdom of Saint Bernard of Clairvaux, or Vaux. I don't know how to say it, it's French. Exploring the steps of humility and the challenges posed by pride within the context of monastic life, guided by the rules of Saint Bernard. Now, let me tell you, I struggle with the ladder of climbing the ladder of humility, and I often stumble into pride because I was a paralegal, and because of my wonderful temperament that God has given me, I am a sanguine choleric. And this temperament is a wonderful temperament because we just bring joy and peace to everyone. But we can at the same time get all high on ourselves, and then we fall down the ladder of pride. and this temperament of mine is wonderful because I can see how when you're climbing, I can see how it's not truly humility, but it's really pride. So as I'm climbing, number one would be number 1, and pride, and number 2, and number 12 will actually be curiosity, would actually be 12, and pride. And I think it's a wonderful time to kind of explore this topic, just to make sure that I understand it and that I'm not delving too deeply into pride, the sin of pride, where the devil likes me to be. So Saint Bernard's steps to humility derived from the teachings of Saint Benedict provide a roadmap for spiritual growth. These steps encourage self-awareness, the renunciation of personal will, and the acceptance of guidance from wise mentors. And let me tell you, I really love a mentor, and I think that the best mentors are in the Catholic Church, and the priests provide that excellent mentorship. And I think we should bring them back into our society because priests are wonderful people, the monastic setting, this pursuit of humility serves as a transformative process, fostering an environment where individuals can overcome the hurdles of pride, leading to a deeper connection with God. However, the path to humility is not without difficulties, and I could tell you for a fact that I struggle with it. And every time I find myself going up, I climb right down, and and God says, Marla. So the rules are designed to cultivate a disciplined and aesthetic lifestyle, demand a constant commitment to self-examination and obedience. The challenge lies in balancing the desire for spiritual growth with the rigorous demands of monastic order. Now, transitioning to a different realm, let's explore also the realm of law and mediation. I'm a paralegal, and as a paralegal, I was trained to research, think critically, and revise whatever I draft. And so I believe that paralegals, with their unique set of skills, can be keen attention to detail, and their keen attention to detail makes them excellent mediators. We have a natural ability for peacemaking, and some people like me have a natural ability to provide lots of ideas. They often possess the ability to facilitate communications, understand legal complexities, and help parties navigate the intricate web of legal proceedings. Yet, a challenge arises in the realm of family law mediation, where lawyers currently hold a monopoly. Now, I think it's essential for lawyers to realize that paralegals can actually delve into mediation, and then if the mediation goes sour, that's where the lawyer steps in. The question arises, why should paralegals with their mediation skill be able to contribute more directly in this space? Why shouldn't paralegals with their mediation skills be able to contribute more directly in this space? Much like the monastic rules, legal systems often have structure that define who can engage in certain activities. However, just as St. Bernard steps of humility encourages a humble examination of oneself, perhaps it's time to critically examine these structures and consider how qualified professionals, including paralegals, could play a major active role in family law mediation. In conclusion, whether we navigate the steps to humility in monastic settings or challenge existing norms in the legal profession, the essence lies in recognizing the potential for growth and improvement by fostering humility and openness to change. We can create environments that truly serve the well-being of individuals and societies at large. And let me tell you, in realizing the guide to mediation and realizing this wonderful profession, oftentimes they want to say the health professionals are wonderful for this health industry, but you're also forgetting that priests, with their unique set of skills and keen ability to heal people from their spiritual sickness, make excellent mediators as well, and we've actually driven them out of their proper role in society as mediators and peacemakers. And this is actually an area that, in family law, is an area where a priest often possesses the ability to facilitate communication, and they understand legal, mental, spiritual complexities better than a healthcare professional who's in the secular realm and who only understands whatever they have been taught by the elites in college. And so these priests, they can help the parties navigate the intricate web of personal conflicts and maybe even resolve it better than lawyers in healthcare and even paralegals. Yet the challenge also arises where the state wants to usurp the natural jurisdiction that the church has in society, where the government is trying to hold a monopoly on this area. So the question naturally also arises that why shouldn't priests, with their mediation skills and peacemaking skills, be able to contribute more directly in this space and be put back into their proper role in solving many of these family law problems that we have? Not the state. The state should not usurp the church's position. The family law is an area that is proper to the church, and years of thought have been put into it from the actual church. Family law is an area that comes through from England and the common law, and it's very biblical in nature. And so I see the usurpation of the state into this area, and I see how they're destroying families. So much like the monastic rules, family legal systems often have structures that define who can engage in this activity, and family law is a structure, is an area of law that has defined the church as a proper role of these activities in divorces, for example. And just like Saint Bernard, the steps in humility encourage us to be humble and evaluate ourselves, and perhaps take a more critical examination of these structures and consider how qualified priests are, including us paralegals, and how we can work together to solve many of the problems of family law mediation. So I really want to advocate for a return to having the priests be mediators in this area and work with the mental health professionals closely to help facilitate mediation, because the priests already serve couples and individuals in the midst of personal turmoil. Priests already are comfortable working in the midst of conflict. Priests are knowledgeable about human behavior and philosophy and theology and psychological theory. And because of their theology and their philosophy and their intelligence, and because they are God-centered, God actually puts them in there, they're actually the best mediators. And they can easily learn some of the legal information needed to practice when they combine and they join with paralegals and lawyers as divorce and civil and employment mediators or community dispute resolution facilitators. Priests see conflict not as a win-lose, but as a win-win, and they see conflict as a healing process for the soul. So there's an opportunity for healing and closure when you include priests into this, because a lot of these conflicts arise from sin. And I know that in our society, we're trying to get rid of sin and say, well, no, there's no more sin. Many of the conflicts in our society are because of the sins that we as humans have. Our sin, our ways have been corrupted by the Marxists, and priests understand many of the intervention tools, such as listening and reframing and uncovering underlying needs and interests of people. And so priests, the Catholic priests, particularly marriage and family priests, are accustomed to working with families and make ideal mediators because of their training and experience in working with people in conflict. And when priests enter the field of divorce mediation, they find that they already possess the necessary skills to become divorce mediators. Children of divorced parents who experience adjustment difficulties usually are the first to be seen by these priests, and priests work closely with child psychologists or clinical social workers. Individual marriage partners may seek counseling too, and they work closely with a spiritual director to to help them find out the root causes of their marital relationship. And oftentimes it's because interests collide with each other, and the will of God. You see, we women, I didn't realize this, but we women, because of the sin of Adam and Eve, we are meant to be under the submission of our husbands. And submission doesn't mean that we are obedient to abuse or that we have to take abuse, but it means that we can't abandon ourselves fully to obey God. Because we're married, we have to obey the will of our husbands, and hopefully our husbands are obeying God's will and will be happy in our marriage. But if we're not, our husbands are supposed to obey God's will. And in the end, God's will prevail. And if our husbands aren't obeying God's will, when we get to heaven, guess what? I heard from a priest that we get to order our husbands around. Isn't that wonderful? For not obeying us. Anyways, I just wanted to say that it's a mistake that we have excluded the church from the realm of family law. And I think that as a paralegal, I have the legal capacity to help and bring in priests and pastors to help me resolve many of the conflicts that we see in family law courts. And so the roles of priests are complementary to the roles of lawyer, paralegal, and healthcare professionals. And you should seriously consider joining the two. Anyways, thank you for joining me today on this exploration of wisdom, challenges, and possibilities of transformation. And I look forward to next time's talk. And please like and subscribe, and we'll talk more on this topic